Lucy May here, and thank you for coming to this week's episode to watch it. This topic is going to be kind of another serious topic, but just a little piece of it because it's so intense, okay? And I thought this week I would try to kind of hit some areas on it while I'm doing my makeup, so maybe we can get ready and do our makeup together if you're watching this at 8 in the morning, or even if you're watching it at nighttime, you're taking off your makeup, or if you just don't have any makeup on, that's fine. You can watch me do my makeup and see how it goes and get some pointers from it. So we'll see how this all turns out. But I thought I'd touch a little bit on grief, the topic of grief, because it does, once again, affect how you get ready in the morning, in the evening, how you get ready in the afternoon, whatever time you're having to get ready. It does affect that, in that it makes it more difficult and challenging, because when you don't feel like getting ready and getting up and getting going, but you have to push yourself to do it, because whether you've lost a pet, a loved one, a friend, like me, I lost my parents and my spouse, a child, well, however, whatever you lost, anything that has gained or meaning in your heart, in your life, because, and I mentioned pets because they can be, when you lose one, it can be just as hard as losing a loved one. So any kind of a loss that has any meaning in your life can be just devastating, and it disrupts your ability to function normally. And what do you do? How do you get back on your feet? This is just one area that is always hard. And I'm still, believe it or not, I'm still going through the grieving process. I got stuck along the way, which is bad. And now I'm back in through the process, hopefully making some strides forward and moving forward. But one of the areas that is hard and difficult is taking care of yourself. That is a big area when it comes to grief. It's hard. It's hard to get going some days. It's hard to get out of bed when you're just in this state of just, you don't want to, because you don't want to live life without that person that's no longer there, or that pet that's no longer there. But yet life still moves forward, and you're expected to function and move forward with it. And it's so hard when you're just in this deep depression of, just you miss that person so much, and you want to, or that animal, or your friend, or whatever that loss is for you. It could be, I'm going to throw this out there, it could be the loss of a job, of a career. That can be just devastating. So anyways, I might mention these things along the way, but I just want to throw this out there, is that it can affect how you get ready, how you take care of yourself. For me personally, like I said before in the other episodes, I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped putting makeup on. It was enough for me just to get out of bed and take a shower. And even then, that was difficult for me, because emotionally I just felt so And what do you do? How do you get past that? How do you get to the point where at least you can get out of bed, put your makeup on, try to at least wash your face, and try to get going? And I don't have a straight answer, but I will just tell you this. There are days that I had to tell myself, Lucy, you have to get up. Come on, you have to get up and get going. This is ridiculous. This is, and it's not ridiculous, but for me personally, I've had to tell myself that, Lucy, this is ridiculous, because in your heart that these people are not coming back, and they're in a better place. And they would want you to move forward and to get going. That's what I mean when I say, this is ridiculous, Lucy, come on, let's go. Let's get going. And I don't have as many days like that anymore. In fact, they're rare now, but I have those days, which is good. But if you're in the beginning process of grief, you know how hard it is to get up and get moving, and to get going. So you just have to tell yourself and get your motivation has to get back on track. Well, however it is to get that. Now it might take some time. You can't just expect something to change overnight. But if you can just get out of bed, that's a beginning step. Get out of bed and get moving. That is the first step. You have made a big progress if you can get up and get out of bed without people calling you on the phone to tell you to do it, or family members to tell you to do it. If you can get out of bed yourself, that is the big fact. That is a big factor right there. You have made a big step. And then if you can make your bed. Now, I'm not very good at that, so I'm still kind of stuck in that process. I have good days and I have not so good days where I get up and then think about making my bed until later in the afternoon or something. So yes, I just told on myself. So, oh boy, don't get mad at me. But I'm dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff right now. So you just have to overlook me when I say that. But that is a big thing. Just to get out of bed and make your bed, you have accomplished something huge right there. Just to do that, okay? Your next step is to get in the bathroom and wash your face. That's a huge, deal as well. Wash your face. Put your favorite, moisturizer on. Do something that you loved, that you used to love to do. If you can't do it that day, fine. If you just washed your face and you got up and had to go do something, that's just enough right there, okay? No pressure, nothing, because I'm trying to get y'all to take care of yourself right now. And this is just one area that depression affects your well-being because you're grieving through something. So depression and grief go hand in hand. So, if you can just do one little thing. Okay, now I thought of something. Now another thing you have to overlook is I will forget things and then I will suddenly have a remembrance of something I wanted to tell you. And part of that is because, this is a trigger warning, right? For just like 5 minutes. So if you need to step away for 5 minutes, you can, or you can just plug your ears and don't listen, la 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 la, you know what I'm saying? But this is a trigger warning for those who have dealt with suicidal thoughts, ideation, or attempts, or somebody that committed suicide. So I just have to warn you because can be a trigger for people. But I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up that, I attempted suicide and tried to overdose and survived it. Praise God, survived it. But I've had some side effects from it. And one of those side effects is that I've suffered from what's called anoxia, which is like you get from not having enough oxygen in your brain. And I didn't discover this until later on, like a few years after I attempted suicide, that it occurred to me why I was having issues like coming up with words and forgetting things and having to use reminders so that I remember stuff, because I didn't realize that, that this was probably from that. Because they don't have, they've done testing. They have done physical testing, like where I do, do this, pick this word, come up, actual neurological testing in that sense. And I did have some issues with it. But when they look on the MRI, they couldn't necessarily see the results from it on the MRI, but they know something's happened because of the amount of time that I probably was without enough oxygen. And so anyways, just to warn you, I may have a time where I forget things and then all of a sudden I remember things. So I have to try to do it at that point. So, so get back on track with what we were saying. And what I was talking about is just, take care of you. And those of you who went away for a few minutes, you can come back on the scene here because I'm no longer talking about that. Just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on my memory. Okay? So, That, you know, sometimes I will forget things and come back at you with whatever I forgot, okay? So let's get back on track. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start my makeup while I'm just continuing talking. But that, you know, just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what to do with that. Now, I will give you a hint, or not a hint, but an easy hack that I would suggest that you do if you're having a hard time struggling. Making decisions is a big factor also with grief. You tend to not have, it's just difficult to make decisions because your brain is at a different level when you're going through grief and you're not necessarily thinking along those lines of, well, I can just decide this factor, or deciding what to wear is a big factor. I mean, I struggled with that because I didn't really care what I wore, but I didn't know what I needed to wear that was appropriate for what I was doing, because it just came down to where I just couldn't make decisions. So this is my suggestion or hack for this situation, including your makeup routine. Now, the night before, if you know that you have something that you need to do, or you need to go somewhere, even if it was just to go to the store, the night before, figure out what you're going to wear. Pick out an outfit, pick out your clothes, and get that set aside, okay? But the other thing is go ahead and pick out your makeup, what you're going to wear for your makeup. You know, if you know what you're going to do, that will take a huge load off of what you have to do to plan for that next day, because you already have it laid out. Now, reason I say makeup is, if you have a lot of makeup, I have a lot of makeup, I would say. Not as much as a lot of the makeup tutorial people who they have just tons of makeup. I don't have it to that degree, but I do have some makeup. So I kind of like to match things up. So I will pick out most of the times I will pick out what I'm going to wear that will match my clothes. And that takes a whole, like a load off of you, because you already have it picked out. Okay. So that is my hack for you and suggestion for you, so that you don't have to sit there and get stressed out about what you're going to wear or what makeup you're going to use. Or you just, you know, if you decide you want to do something. Now, I do know there are last minute decisions that I've had to make too. When I decide I don't like what I'm wearing or what I picked out, then I have to really decide what I'm going to wear, and then maybe have to change my makeup look, or maybe not, you know. It just really depends. So my suggestion is just, you know, have it already laid out, so that when you get up the next day, however you do your makeup first, or you do it after you get dressed, you have it picked out. And it will save on time and energy. Trust me, because you won't have to have anything to think about the next day in the morning, because you've already had it laid out in front of you. Okay, so that's that suggestion. All right, so I already did my primer on my face and my eyes, and I used Too Faced Primed and Poreless Primer. Excellent primer. And I went ahead and did the 24-hour shadow insurance from Too Faced as well for my eyes. An excellent product for your eyes. Always put something on your eyes before you put your eyeshadow on, okay? It will last a lot longer if you do. I choose to use eye primer because it does not crease for me. I haven't really, to be honest, tried regular primer. So, you know, I can't say for sure how, you know, it would turn out, if you would get creasing or not. Because the big thing is trying to prevent creasing. So, but I just wanted to throw this out there. I already did all that step. Okay. And my stuff is over to the side here, so I'm sorry if I go in and off the camera. But I have to do that because the camera's in front of me. So, haven't figured out quite yet what I'm going to do within my space to resolve that, but it'll get resolved. All right, so the next thing I need to do is put on primer. Now, I'm going to use Estee Lauder's Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup Liquid Foundation, okay? And it's awesome. I love this stuff. It lasts all day. It is almost medium to full coverage. So it's not lightweight by any means. You can make it lightweight. You can, you know, add half of this and half of a moisturizer and then mix it together. It will lighten it up, like as far as the color, but it will lighten the weight of it so it's not so intense, but it still will last all day. Okay, so I suggest that. The other thing I suggest as I'm putting this on, we'll go ahead and get started here. Oops, gotta unlock it there. Is just enough, probably just need, that's it, really. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. Is that once you put it on, you have to brush it out, you know, spread it around, because once you put it on, it will, you know, it'll start to dry, and then it's really hard to spread it out. I didn't realize that. I found out the hard way. So, as you can see, I'm seeing myself as I'm looking at you. Okay, I'm just kind of dotting it, blotting it around. I'm going to go ahead and put my brush, handy brush, on medium. Okay. Yeah, it's just so easier to do this right when you put it on your skin, because it will not, you can't spread it around after a few seconds unless you're moving it. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and dot some on my nose. I'm just working my way around my face. I'm just getting that mixed in there really good. I come down here and get it kind of in my face a little bit, or my chin. Just kind of going back up and over. You can use a sponge to do this as well as brushes, regular brushes. I'm choosing to use this. It's easier on me because my hand, right hand, having a lot of issues from what I had discussed earlier. It was one of the effects of what I had done. So, and I still need to do a video about my life story, so that is still going to come out. Okay. Next is this cheek. Go ahead and get this blotted on. I will list all my products that I used today at the end of this video, including the color. So I know I haven't come out necessarily to talk about the color of this, but this is pretty light. I have very light skin. I need a tan is what I need. I need a tan. And I'm kind of trying to blend in with the other ones I already laid down. So just go back over, making sure going in all different directions. And it was just enough for me. That was just enough to use. It was just one pump I used. Now with Estee Lauder, they don't come with a pump. So you have to buy it separately. I believe it's like $10 to get it. You may find it cheaper on other websites, but generally on, like, I think Amazon's the same. It's $10. And it's worth doing it. I mean, Estee Lauder is expensive anyways. You're looking at $45 to $50 for a foundation. And it's worth to get that pump. And yes, it is expensive. It's pricey. I've had it for a long time because I'm using other stuff to go with it, or, you know, so I'm not using it every day per se. But it lasts a lot longer than drugstore foundation. For me, it's lasted a lot longer. And what I mean by drugstore foundations, I mean like Maybelline, L'Oreal, those types of foundations that are sold at a drugstore or at Walmart. So that's what that term, and you'll hear other people using the same term, so you understand what we're talking about. All right, so I'm going to grab my mirror because my eyes are like not very good and I don't have my contacts in. Just make sure that I did very good in blending it, and I think I did. Okay, all right. So the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and put my little bit of, I'm gonna do just a little bit of concealer, and it's Item by Item. That's the name of the company, and they have, not sure about the rest of their products, but this concealer works really good, and it has a very big, what we call a doe at the end of it, meaning the applicator tip. So, right, and I think that one's okay. I'm just kind of looking all over where I can apply it. I think that's really all I'm going to do right now. There's just one area that I just want to cover, so. And then I have another product, a concealer for under my eyes, and it's from Benefit. Benefit Boing. That's the product, and it looks like a pencil. Okay. All right, so I'm going in the corner of my eye with it, and it's a little bit pinkish because my undertone is pink, I believe. At least that's what I was told. And so this has a little bit of a pinkish tint to it, so it helps correct the color as well. Okay. You guys, and there's so many different concealers out there. I honestly have a trouble to tell you which one's great, because the truth is that everybody's different. You know, some concealers work great for other people, but then there's other people that it doesn't work great for, that they don't like it. So it's like, I mean, for me, this works great. I don't have any troubles with it. I probably would purchase it again. I don't know. I need to try some others though. Now, I don't know if this is the another hack you can do. I saw somebody do this and I thought, well, I'm gonna try this, and I think I've done it. Maybe you've seen it before. Sometimes I change my makeup routine as I go along. So this, what I'm using is Huda Beauty. It's their setting powder. And I don't know, I just decided, I saw somebody putting setting powder, like baking, they call it baking on your face, where they put a ton of powder, and just let it set there. And then after a few minutes, then they just powder, you know, brush it off and stuff like that. I'm leery for doing that because it can cause creasing, and it can be, as the term calls it, cakey. That means when it sets into the lines on your skin, if you had wrinkles, any lines, anything, it just sets in there and it makes it more pronounced. So I'm leery on doing it for myself. But this I just do right after I do my eyes, as soon as I can do it, while it's still kind of setting in there. And I just go ahead and do this. Just enough to kind of cover in there. And I think it's okay. It's hard to see on the camera here, but you do see it kind of blurs it. So these little things I got on my hand is the little tiny puffer. It's from Huda Beauty as well, and they sell them for like, I think it's $10 or whatever. You get like a pack of 4, and you just put them on your finger and just, you know, puff away, or, blot away at what you want to do. They're cute. They're very cute, and I love them. All right, so the next thing, we got our concealer on, we got our foundation on, I got my eyes set. we're going to go ahead and do our bronzer, okay? And today I'm using Too Faced bronzer. It is Bear It All bronzer. It's very cute. It's got teddy bear on it. It's a lighter bronzer. So I'm just going to try to just do some contouring with the lighter bronzer. Okay. Now, y'all, I'm using these new brushes and I'm not sure I like them. I'll be honest with you. So I don't know how things are going to turn out when I do my eyeshadow and stuff. It's from the company PUR. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, but I got these brushes and the case within my BoxyCharm. And so I thought, well, I'll try it. Because most of my brushes are from Morphe. And, you know, they're pretty good as far as they last long. They take washing them very well. I mean, I think they're good brushes. You know, everybody's got their opinion. Everybody has a favorite brush that works well for them. So I thought I'd try these, but I just am kind of not too thrilled with them. So, all right. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and start on top and work my way down. This particular bronzer, it has a sheen to it. So it's kind of shiny. It's kind of glowy. And I've used it all over my face before. And I could do that if I wanted to. But you're just kind of outlining the top of your eyes and make sure that it's blended in real well. Otherwise, I mean, it'll look weird because people can, you know, will be able to tell. The whole point is trying to make your face look more tanner, you know, and to contour your face, give it more depth and just to make it just look even more beautiful than it already is. Okay. Sometimes I will do just a little bit on the sides here as well. I don't go for a full contour on my nose. This is one of those things where, I don't know if you watched last week, I was talking about self-talk where, you know, you're supposed to tell yourself, you look beautiful, you're smart, you're wonderful, you're kind, trying to talk, you know, change the way you talk about yourself. And so a lot of times when I'll see my nose, I'm not happy with my nose. So I'll be like, oh, I don't like my nose. That's why I don't contour it. but then I have to stop myself and say, no, it's not it. Your nose was made for your face. You know, God created it that way. So it is what it is. And so that's how I have to change my self-talk sometimes. Get it back to being corrected. Because I am not perfect. I know that. And it's all a learning process. All right, so my blush is from Beauty Bakery, another great company. They have the most adorable packaging with their makeup. This is the Queen of Tarts blush palette. Got some really, really dark shades in here. And at first I was like, when I got this, I'm like, man, it might be just too dark for my complexion. I just used just a little bit and it seems to work out fine. I forgot my bed. See? You get distracted. I get distracted sometimes and then I forget what I need to do. And believe it or not, I do have a list of my routine so that I can check it because I'll forget things. Like previous videos, I have forgotten a few things. I just didn't point it out, but it's hard to see. It's so light. There we go. That's better. Yeah. You can see it better over here, I think. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Got back on track again. All right, so I'm gonna do this really light. Let me see if I can show it. This really light pink right here I'm gonna use. pink is kind of the theme. I'm kind of doing a pink neutral look today. And I'm going up on my cheekbone here, but I'm doing it up this way. Okay. If it gets a little bit too dark, you know, you can always blush it out, or, you know, brush it out, not blush it out, or pat it out, however you want. What ends up happening is I end up using my setting powder, the brush for my setting powder ends up generally kind of lightening it up a little bit. So, okay, so I'm using Fenty Beauty's highlighter. It's called, Kilowatt Foil. Kilowatt Foil Freestyle Highlighter Duo. Okay, and that's what it looks like on the packaging. And I'm going to use the pink highlighter. Now it looks dark, but it's not as bad. Once you put it on your skin, it lightens up. Because I had to swatch it first to make sure. All right, so I'm just going to do a tiny bit. I don't know if you can see this color on my finger. I don't want to, you know, give you the wrong finger there. But you can see it. So I'm just going to do just a tiny bit. You can use a brush to do this if you want. Ooh, that's pretty pink. For sure, pretty pink. Yeah, I don't want to do too much of it because it is pretty. I'm going to do right here too. You're trying to highlight those areas that normally, like it light catches. This is what I'm trying to say. So I do it there. Now I won't do like anything up here. I don't tend to, because I'll be honest, I'm trying not to highlight my forehead because, you know, it's just out there. So I try not to do that. All right, so now I'm using Beauty Bakery's setting powder. It's Better Not Bitter, that's what it's called. And it looks like it's flour. So, and that's what they call it, flour. In the color of Oat Translucent, okay? And like I said before, this will all be at the end of the video. So, this kind of all blends it in as well, so it's not so... All right, there we go. And this kind of sets all your face up too. And it's telling you, makes things a little bit lighten up so it's not so dark. Now, you know, when we're talking about grief, you know, if it's just too much to do this much makeup, you know, you don't have to. I'm taking my time doing it because I'm showing you, but you certainly can just do your face like just this if you want to, and then put some mascara on, wear some lipstick, and you're done. I mean, that if that's how you're feeling that day, you know, you don't have to go full blast every day by any means. I mean, I have foundation I use when I'm just not going anywhere because I don't want to use my expensive foundation when I'm just sitting at home. All right, so now we're ready to do my eyes. Okay. So instead of using a regular palette, I'm going to use ColourPop's Super Shock Shadows today. And they have tons of these shadows, individual shadows, and they're beautiful and they work great. I tend to get them when they're on sale because they do cost $8 to $10 for one individual one. But if you can catch them on sale, that's when you get them. If you can get them like 2 for $7, or even down as much as $2 per shadow. So ColourPop is wonderful. They're not too expensive. I'm kind of excited because I've got some things I've purchased from them, and I've got some from Too Faced that are coming, and I can't wait to show you what those look like. But they're on their way. Some of them will get here by the time this is out, it'll already be here. So then I can show you what they are. But I'm excited about what I'm gonna get because they were on sale. One of them wasn't. Now, let me tell you, you know, I don't try to buy my products full price. Rarely do I ever do that. There are some things I have because if you don't get them then, you'll never be able to get them. And I've lost out on a few things that I really wanted because they sold out and they never came back. They never restocked them. So there are some things that, you know, you do have to kind of buy full price if you want them, if you know that it's going to be like selling like wildfire. So, but generally I would say about 85% of the things that I have or I got on sale. And probably even 90% I would say they were bought when there was a sale going on, because I don't want to buy anything full price if I don't have to, because it is expensive. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, keep your eye on sales because they always are having sales. Their websites versus the stores. I always shop from the websites, the company's websites, because you can get some pretty good deals there versus going to the actual like Ulta or Sephora. You can actually get some great deals just from the actual makeup companies themselves. So, you know, just keep your eyes out and you can get some really cool items and makeup. So back to ColourPop. Okay, so I picked these out and let's see. For my lid, now I'm going to do a different technique today. So I'm going to do the inner, medium, and dark. And then you blend it on the crease line, okay? So for the inner, we're going to do the 2-1 F3, which is Koosh. And it's a very light color. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, my hands are shaky today. It's just normal. It's from medicine, I'm sure. Oop. All right, and then the second one that's going in the middle is going to be Polly. Okay. See if you can see that color. Try to see if I can get the shimmer on it. It's a little hard to see. Okay. And then the last one is called Basic Instinct. It's hard to see this one because it has a design in the front. But you might be able to see the shimmer inside of it. Okay, so let's get started. It's really light. I might just use my finger. I'm sure you know that you can use your finger on your eyeshadows. And sometimes it's even better way to put on your eyeshadow. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at my eyes. I don't know if you can see it. But all right. The next one, we're going to do this middle color that I showed you. Okay. It is light. I'll tell you that. I don't know if you can even see it, but it is definitely light. So all you're doing is putting just 3 lines pretty much. And it's really hard. I'm sorry, y'all. It's really hard to see this on here. But it's like, you know, you're doing 3 rows of color. I feel like it's really difficult to see. I don't know if you can see that, but okay. All right. And also trying to blend it at the same time. Okay, this is going to be pretty dark. Pretty dark. Okay. I'll have to clean that up. There really isn't any fallout outside of me doing it. But so I hope you can see, it's hard to tell. There are 3 rows of color right now. Then what you do is you get a brush. Okay. You just take this and you just kind of combine it. You see? It's really kind of light right now. I don't know if you can tell. This one seems to be, it has more. Okay, I'm just trying to get this one section evened out here. So now can you see how I did that? So this is kind of just mixing the colors there, and it looks great. And you have different colors mixed in together. So it's just another way to do it. And the beauty of this, as well as other techniques, is that you can make it as lighter or as darker as you want. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and do my eyebrows real quick. I'm going to use Urban Decay's eyebrow pencil, and it's in the shade of Cafe Kitty. And I'm just lining it the best I can. And putting some additional color in I can. It's not perfect, guys, but you know, my main thing is it match the other side. That's my thing, because, and y'all, I've seen some really messed up eyebrows, and I'm telling you, it's bad, and I don't want to be like that, you know, either. So all right. We're almost there. Just hang on. We're almost there. This side, my left side, is harder, a little bit more challenging. Let's put it this way, challenging. All right, so this is the eyebrow gel. It's from e.l.f. And it's got little fiber hairs on it, which is awesome. And it just helps give your eyebrows some volume, especially as you get older, because I feel like your eyebrows start to thin out. It also blends the color that I just put on. It blends it as well, so it's not so if this is exactly straight, even. We're gonna do Too Faced Brown Liquid Eyeliner. And I'm just doing just a tiny bit at the bottom here. Okay. If you do the full, if you're trying to look younger or you're older, they say not to do your whole underline, don't do your whole underline area, because it makes you look older, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I just went ahead and said, okay, I'm going to try it this way. So the other thing I was going to say too is, if you have a hard time holding, like this is taking me a long time to do this with this hand, and I have adapters I can use if I'm having a hard day with my hand, meaning if I'm having a lot of pain, because I do have days like that. I have puffy, rigid things that you can put on to the actual eyeliner, so you're not having to do this. You can hold it better. You could get those off of Amazon if you're having trouble and making it bigger. There's also a thing, I believe, and I can't think of the name of it. Oh my gosh. Guild or something like that. Probably got it all mixed up, messed up. Where they've created actual it's okay. Where they actually, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I got this right. Where they actually help you, give you, like, it's a thicker handle to use, and then the end of it is curved, and that way you just have to go along and it's easier to get on versus trying to do this tiny thing. I have a knockoff version of it, and that works as well too. I'll have to show you one time how to use it. It'll explain it much better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. Oh, it kills me, these names of these products. Okay, and I think that's where it's at with that. Final thing we do, here it is. It is my atomizer, and it has my setting spray on it. And another hack recommend is, if you get a setting spray, put it in one of these little things, and you will save so much money on setting sprays. Like, it will take you forever to go through a setting spray bottle, because now you can do it more exact, and versus just spraying all over the place and have the liquid is going everywhere else besides on your face. But it's wonderful. So you can get these off of Amazon for like $5, or they go up to like 20. So okay, so now I'm going to do my lipstick. Got my lip liner from ColourPop. And this is BFF. I'm sorry, folks. This is going to be an hour again. The color I'm going to use is Chocolate Strawberry from Too Faced. And it smells like chocolate raspberries. But look at this color. And it has a heart. It's so beautiful. I love how at the end of it I'll get that in a second. At the end of it, it has the smell lingers is what I'm trying to say. But okay, that's it. Let me close my eyes for you so you can see what we did. Smile. That's the look. Sorry for the hair. I was having a bad hair day, so my hair went up. And that is it for today. Now I'm sorry, like I said, this one in an hour again, and just trying to find my way, people. That's all I'm doing. But I do hope you have a blessed week and that everything's going smoothly. And I know we had this tough topic we kind of discussed a little bit. And do not be afraid to reach out to others if you're having a hard time or a difficult time with things. Please reach out to somebody. And if it's really difficult and you're in a bad spot, you can always call 911 or 988, which is the suicide hotline number. Please don't give up on life. Keep going. You will get through it. You will push forward and you will move forward and your life will go on. But always know that you will always have the memories of all these things in your heart. Always. And one day you'll look back on all of this and boy, think to yourself, that was so hard and tough. And I made it through. And I'm believing that you can make it through this tough spot if that's what you're going through right now. So know that people believe in you and that people love you, and stay present. Don't get caught up in the past, but stay in the present and take care of yourself. Do some self-care. You're worth every bit of it. And I just want to pray that everything goes well for you this week. Thank you so much and bless you all. And have a good day and have a good week. Thank you.